Okay, let's get into it, guys. Are we ready, everybody? Ready to get into the patch notes for Co 3? Right, so this is the 2.0.5 tuning update patch notes for Co 3. This isn't a major patch. This is adding a few little bit things here, maybe a map or two. I think I'll have to see what they actually do. But I think I know that they're remaking. I think it was Magnano Gap, the 3v3 map. They've done a big overhaul on that map. But I'm not sure actually if they added any new maps. Let's just get into it though. Here we go. So, yeah, this is the Magnano Summit, rather. So, Magnano Gap is the 4v4 one. Magnano Summit is the 3v3 one. They've now changed it to be a bit more balanced. So, well, fight out yourself when you get into the game. And that's the changes that have been made for that map there. You've got Angerville, Crossing the Woods of Langres have had some adjustments as well. So, as well as Bacino Stalemate, Semois, Longstop Hill, and Black and Gold. They've also, as a black and gold, they've added to include 2 more victory points in an experimental update. They've added, so there's 5 VPs now on black and gold, which is, okay. I'm not sure. I think adding more VPs for Co is a bad idea, just in general, because the VP counters already tick down very quickly, and if one side grabs all VPs very quickly, the game's going to end in under like 5 minutes. So it's just a silly thing. They need, if they're going to do this, you need to make sure the VP rate ticks down a lot slower. But yeah, there's no point. I just think it's a very strange and weird decision they've decided to do that. Replays, change to get replays, so they're now going to be changed to 3 months, 90 days, and you have to manually save them if you want to keep them. To be fair, though, any replays that you have will automatically be in, you won't be able to watch them anyway once a patch hits because they become unwatchable. So I'm not sure how big that is, because it used to be 5 months, now it's 3 months, but there's normally a patch within 3 to 5 months anyway, so which makes the replays null and void. So just there you go if you're interested about that. Multiplayer balance, right? This is what you want to get into. Here we go. So, craters in general, crater walls were too steep, especially when an area was saturated with overlapping damage. We've standardized the depth of craters caused by weapons and reduced the size of some deformation to better suit the size of the crater generated. Mines deal 50% less damage upon detonating if they are detected. This is probably more specifically to do with the butterfly bombs. So a lot of the butterfly bombs, you'll spot them, and then your units automatically will target and shoot them. And if you are underneath those mines when you shoot them, they will obviously hurt you at 100% of their normal damage value. Now they'll only do 50% damage, so it makes it less painful if you accidentally blow up, those mines. Right, then on to the Stummel. Half-track, the M375 gun mortar carriage, and the 221 scout car. Certain stun abilities were too powerful and fast mobile units and would temporarily shut down vehicle attacks at range and remove their target's ability to escape danger. To address this, we are decreasing the debuff duration and maintaining vehicle speed, allowing effective vehicles to be able to back out of the engagement. So it's not going to stun them. It's just going to maybe like stop, because I know, like, for instance, the 75, when it shoots enemy vehicle with its special stun round, it will slow the enemy vehicle and it'll stop them from firing their main weapon. So this will just stop them from firing their main weapon for longer, but they could also just get out of the fight. So yeah, I'm not sure. They're already quite squishy, these motor carriages, so I'm not sure if that's a great idea. So I've got a blinding shot used by the Stummel and the 221 instead, right? And then White Phosphorus blinding shot ability is all standard to be called blinding shot for these units. Debuff duration is now 7 seconds instead of 5. Now only disables the target's weapons and vision while creating a White Phosphorus smoke cloud in front of the target. No longer slows units down. Damn, I used to like getting this. Like, I used to getting a few of the 75 half-drakes out and then using the target weak point to, like, nuke down like a tiger or something. You'll no longer be able to do that, really, because that vehicle just will be able to get out the fight. Okay. Not sure that was a big issue with the game at the moment. I think other issues are a bit more pressing, like the Stuka and stuff. Also, light artillery then. Jimeji-san! Thanks so much, dude, for the resub. Oh, sorry, for 3 consecutive streams this month. Thanks, dude. I thought I immediately saw that as a resub, but thank you anyway for watching for three consecutive streams. Appreciate it, buddy. JC, thanks for the follow. I just got this game, had fun on the front lines, which I understood other parts of it, though. yeah, it's quite complicated if you've never really played a Company Heroes game before. I'm just running through the patch notes of the latest update. I normally cover all the patch notes and put out lots of guide and tip content, so you'll be in safe hands with me. Right, let's get on to the next thing. So, light artillery. With the adjustment to light artillery damage output, these units underperform due to low rate of fire, inability to retreat, and high cost. We are speeding up their rate of fire to improve their damage output against stationary targets without increasing their area of effect damage. So this is the pack outs, the LEIG, the heavy mortar. So their aim time has all gone down from like 0, 0. Heavy mortar doesn't seem to have one. Yeah, aim time gone down. So smoke standard barrage, so it will fire the barrages quicker. So basically, all of these things will be able to fire a bit faster than they normally are. So that's good. So we'll have to check out maybe using an LEIG now to see if it's actually worth getting. It's quite an expensive unit to get out, but it might be better now. Then we're on to field defences. Build time on field defences are still too long after recent construction changes related to capturing, resulting in limited use outside of capture points. We are further decreasing build times on certain... Oh, thank God. To make these options more attractive when units have downtime between combat encounters, we have also made changes to the Wehrmacht Axis tank traps, allowing them to provide cover in a radius like those used by the Allies. So they're now 4 seconds instead of 6. That's a huge decrease. Barbed wire as well. Yeah, a bit faster there. Tank traps 3. Okay, so big decrease in the time, so that's good. So we'll now be able to build more sandbags, which is awesome. US Air Support Center. We've made an error when replacing one of the air support upgrades. We are correcting this as the Air Support Center generally suffers from its abilities being gated by munitions, not recharge times. Air Supremacy removed. Air Supply upgrade re-added. This reduces the munitions cost of Air Support Centers abilities by 50 munitions. So 50 munitions cheaper instead. Okay. Tank Depot. Fuel cost reduced by 5. The Jeep is scale capacity has increased from 90 to 125. That's actually really big. So we were thinking about how we use spot cloaked machine guns and I guess like cloaked Axis units maybe through espionage. Now the Jeep is going to be more more favorable because its detection range has gone up by an extra whopping 35, which is pretty damn big. So that's cool. The M19 machine gun and the 50 cal as well. Improved defensive setup damage reduction from 10% to 5, only +5 when in cover. So they've received a nerf. The mortar, the scatters increased from 8 to 12. 8 to 10, airburst scatter ratio 0.075 to 1. What does this mean? This means if its scatters have gone up by... if the scatter goes up, it will hit a bigger area, right? If I understood that correctly. Which will make it even more deadly. I thought this mortar was already pretty nasty with its scatter, with the airburst. Unless I'm misinterpreting this. I have to test out the mortar to see what the... I would assume that it sounds like it's getting a buff. So we'll have to look... But I already thought that the airburst was already really strong. Increased scatter means more inaccurate. Or if that is the case, then the airburst is getting... that airburst is getting a bit of a nerf. Okay, so it's a nerf, not a buff. I'm thinking scatter is like the spread of the shrapnel as it goes out. We need a degree in Code 3 patch notes reading. I know, right? They should, like, and again, you need to explain exactly what this means. Is this a buff or is this a nerf to the unit? Motor pool. We are reducing the fuel costs of the motor pool to allow players easy access to anti-tank guns. So that's 5 fuel cheaper. Same with the tank depot as well. The Greyhound is also 5 fuel cheaper. And the armored skirts, the upgrade on that is been massively reduced down to 20 seconds from 30. The Hellcat. We are adjusting the Hellcat's veterancy, giving it a greater hit chance and weapon penetration as it levels up. We've also made the unit fire slightly faster to improve its direct combat performance against enemy armor in prolonged engagements. Okay, so the Hellcat gets a buff. Shooting scoot's gone up by 2 seconds. Nice. Extra 20% buff to pen at the Vet 3. Cool. Then a Bulldozer. We're boosting the Bulldozer's secondary functionality as a minesweeper by increasing its speed and mine resistance when the Dozer blade is down. We are also increasing the unit's potency when it reached higher veterancy levels. Bulldozer blade resistance against mines increased from 50 to 75%. Speed debuff is gone down only, but it's only minus 25. Yes, it's only 25 slower now. Yeah, so Bulldozer gets a buff as well. Nice. Then onto the advanced infantry. The artillery observer. The bonus range during supervised beacon abilities increased by 10. The ammunition storage reload and ability recharge bonus decreased from 40 to 30%. Aura range has been decreased. Added pre-construction reticule preview of the build radius. Near and mid-range effect distance increased from 6 to 8. So the bonus of the ammunition storage were too powerful for its price when paired with friendly artillery, and a minute's aura meant the death explosion was not a concern in most cases. We're adjusting it. Okay, so that's received a nerf. Designated assault positions. That's now decreased, so that's 15 munitions cheaper. And the Rangers, the weapon crate drop no longer has a recharge time. Huh. Seems a random one. Like, that is a buff to them, but it's not a massive buff. I guess, like, in the early game, you can only have enough munitions to drop one crate anyway, rather than multiple. But I guess... Yeah, okay. It's not a huge change to it, or a buff. It's just I don't think they really needed that change, but... Feels like it should have had it. It should keep a recharge time on it. Not sure about that one. It's not a huge thing, to be fair, to be honest. Heavy weapons battle group. So this is the new anti-tank gun, the big anti-tank gun that the Americans got. So the barrage performance of the M5 is being increased to make it a prominent feature of the weapon that trades out some anti-tank performance for anti-infantry barrage. Because the weapon is a towed cannon, its damage will now be in between the power of light and medium artillery units, as the player must have a half-track with this cooling. We've reduced the manpower cost to make this unit easier to access. So this has got a buff, so this is making this more appealing for people to go for this rather than the Pershing. So reduce the ready aim time as well. Increase the area effect of the radius. Damage has gone up. Wind down is... Yeah, so yeah, okay. I might give that a go. Pershing. The previous Pershing has thrust rolls equivalent to a medium tank. The following changes are now meant to bring the Pershing's timing in line with the Black Prince and Tiger, while reducing how quickly this unit could gain veterancy. Command point costs increase from 10 to 11? And it takes even longer. Okay, I did think it vetted up fairly quickly, but increasing its cost, I thought they would decrease it. Because it feels like it takes forever to get the Pershing out. Is Relic playing their game? I've gone this commander. Every time I've gone this commander, my opponent always gets out the Tiger and the Black Prince before I even can get a Pershing out. So making it 11 command, that should be 9 command points. I should have decreased it. Every time I've done this commander, I'm always like waiting for ages to get the command points to get the Pershing out, and it just never comes out. By the time I've got it out, we've probably already lost the game because Tigers are already dominating on the field. Am I serious? I am serious. That is insane to make the command point costs go up by 1 on the Pershing. It needs to be 9. I agree with the veterancy change requirements, but the Pershing already takes way too long to come out. So making it an extra command point and delaying it, this is a bad change. This is a very bad change. Okay, on to Wehrmacht then. Wehrmacht headquarters medical stations. So the medical station has been inferior to the bunker hill for quite some time. This has often led to players astray in their decision making. The medical station has also the least value for Wehrmacht, as they have healing via the Grenadiers. As such, we are changing the HQ medical station to have the lowest overall cost. The change is now just 150 manpower with no fuel cost. I still think people are going to not, make the bunker. They make because the bunker will give them like free reinforcement later on, so it'll pay for itself. Whereas getting just that Wehrmacht headquarters medical stations just seems a bit redundant. It needs to do something else to make it worthwhile. Maybe it heals faster than a med bunker. Something, I don't know. I don't think that's, the real issue there. Panzer Grenadier squad. So the Panzer Grenadier squads for Wehrmacht, their accuracy has gone up, so they're a bit more dangerous. Okay, cool. Jaegers, smoke locked out so they can't use smoke with the Shrek. You do that, yeah, I guess that's fine. Though, because it gives them a bit too much utility. They already can cloak and they have a Shrek, and then with the smoke on top of that is a bit much, I would say. So I'm not too upset with that. And I guess it would encourage more diverse builds, getting a mortar out for smoking, maybe the Stummel half-track, but you need tier 3 for that. Or maybe just get a G43 upgrade on one of your Jaegers so you can drop the smoke and the flare. So there we go. And then Grens, MP40 Grens, their accuracy's gone up. So that Latif's going to be happy with that. He likes going for MP40 Grens, so that's a nice little bit of a buff to them. Then we're on to the Breakthrough Battle Group. So the Panzer IV Command Tank. The aura's gone up by 10. Okay, cool. You never really see the Panzer IV Command Tank that much, but increasing the aura range, that might make it more appealing to go for. Yeah, to make the command tank more appealing, its aura has been increased to affect additional units at a safer distance. Yep, sounds good. And the Pyos, the MG15 accuracy has gone up. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, you don't really see many people going for the MG upgrade. Everyone always goes for the grenade launcher upgrade. So buffing this might make this more of a appealing upgrade choice. Looks like it gets the same accuracy across all ranges, short, mid, and long. Postal Reserves, 80 grenade, also available after the infantry quarters, and the capture speed. Oh, they made their capture speed up by 1.25. Despite arriving earlier than Grens, had issues controlling and capturing the map due to their need to fight from cover and remain stationary. We are increasing their capture speed to match other frontline units to help secure the map in the early game, while giving them access to their anti-tank grenades via the infantry company quarters, opening new strategies. Okay, so that might be nice. And also because the build time on sandbags and defensive have decreased, that'll buff up coastals as well, because they like to benefit. They need to build cover to benefit from their accuracy bonuses and stuff like that. So that's cool. Then Terror, right? Heavy gunnery is now 0, and then the munitions cost has decreased. Right, the MG camouflage. What have they done to this? We're reducing the power of the MG gun camouflage by making it more difficult to move from cover to cover while remaining camouflaged, while also making it easier to catch a heavy machine gun that has just entered camouflage. It was previously too difficult to catch a machine gun out of position, and the unit could even enter camouflage right in front of another unit without consequences and gain the first strike bonus. We still want to maintain the theme that Terror can initiate early ambushes with their machine guns when in good positions in the early game. Some changes are targeted at the camouflage duration when leaving cover and the delay before camouflage is active. Camouflage duration when leaving cover has decreased from 4 to 2 seconds. Increase the delay before camouflage reactivates from 0.5 to 2 seconds. Okay, so you can still get the camouflage right at the start, because I thought they'd make it maybe a cost of command points, so you don't get the camouflage bonus immediately as soon as the game starts. You still get that, but they have nerfed it considerably, I think. We'll have to see if it's enough, but I think there's some decent changes. Let's just see how it works. And that's a pretty big increase in the activation, yeah, because then you'll be beforehand you could be super aggressive with it, and now you need like a second, or rather 2 seconds now to actually set up to prepare for a fight. The V1 now kills bridges instantly on direct contact, and they've also changed the audio of it, I believe. So the audio is now more, it should be clearer. They've added like a siren now, I think I heard. So that should be interesting. I don't know. The patch came out yesterday, and if you guys in chat have been playing with the new patch since yesterday, and you've encountered the V1, has it been a lot clearer? Have you guys been caught off guard by the V1 now, or is it now a lot more obvious where it's landing? Let me know, guys. Please do comment, maybe in the comment section on the YouTube video or on the live stream right now. Let me know what you've what your experience has been of the new changes to the V1 in terms of its audio. King Tug, right? What have they done with the King Tug? The King Tug was too easily to destroy, despite being the only heavy tank with a fuel penalty and having many other drawbacks associated. We're increasing its health, allowing the vehicle to take more punishment. We're also fixed an issue with the King Tug reverse slower that led to the unit having difficulties retreating from combat. The command point cost has been increased, however, to slow down how quickly this unit can be filled. So another command point cost. Its health has gone up by just an extra 100, and its reverse speed is now the same as default movement speed. I don't agree with that. Like, maybe the health, but the reverse speed, like, I feel like you should be penalized going back. You shouldn't have the same speed going in reverse and you should be going forward. And I feel like if you overextend, you should get punished for it. And therefore, as you reverse, you'll be slower to get out of a fight. So I think, yeah, I don't agree that they've made the speed change. I still think they should remove this stupid fuel penalty, because it's still like such an expensive unit. Like, even if it didn't have the fuel cap, you're thinking it's like a quarter of your entire population cap is going into this thing. And it's only, what, an extra 100 health? It's still not enough. So, yeah, I don't think this goes enough to to help the King Tiger. I still think it's not too worth going. I don't know why they didn't just give the King Tiger what it had in Code 2 for the OKW, where they just gave it a veterancy ability where it could fix its turret, and then it would like have a longer range in front, so it would do a bit more damage. I think it should just give that ability that it had in Code 2, because I think that made sense. You know, I think that was a cool ability. I think what they're trying to do is make the King Tiger more like the King Tiger in Code 1. I think they should leave it as the one what was in Code 2. Yeah, longer sight range, traverse limit to 90 degrees. That's what it had in Code 2, and I liked that because it was like, if you did that, then yeah, you'd be good in the front, but if you got flanked, you'd have to maybe disable it and then turn the tank around. I mean, the tank is still like a slow behemoth, and if it was, if you got swarmed by like M10s or Hellcats or T-34s or things like that, it'd still get screwed. And there's so many kind of off-map abilities that if it gets this engine disabled by, you make a misplay, you hit a mine, or an infantry squad gets close and able to snare it, then all the off-maps are just going to come on it, and it's just going to get wiped off before it does, can get away, because it's such a slow unit. So I still feel like the King Tiger, I'd much rather go for more Panzer IVs than go for something like the King Tiger. All right, let's go on to the British forces now. So what's been changed to the Brits? So the forward observer barrage, this has been the thing that the sections can do, the Dingo can lob, and it will get the 25 pounder in the base to shoot. They've now increased the recharge time from 60 to 120 seconds, so an extra minute of time now, and they've increased the cost by 10 munitions. That is a decent change, I would say. I felt too much this ability was spammed, so like literally every minute you'll be we'll be on the receiving end of this. I think more to the point though, this artillery barrage has a tendency to scatter really wide and one-shot units, infantry squads, and I think that's the main issue with it. I kind of don't mind it being maybe a bit more often, but like the fact that because I feel like it should be more of an area of denial, not like a lucky RNG. Oh, I managed to wipe a squad early in the game because it happened to overshoot and hit a squad that otherwise it shouldn't have hit. Because like the red flares, you'd expect the round to hit near where the red flares are, but sometimes it'll go wide to the left of that or right and wipe a squad, which happened more often than not. And it was really frustrating and very punishing, especially in the early games. So that was the main issue for me. I mean, this is helping against it, so you won't have to be on the receiving end for it for as often, but they need to nerf how dangerous it is, I think, by a little bit. It shouldn't just be able to one-shot a squad for such a cheap cost as well. Even at 45 munitions, it's still fairly cheap to get a whole squad wipe. Centaur, right, the Centaur's gone up, is a little bit faster. Crusader 2, the near penetration has been reduced from 100 to 90, so that's only a nerf of 10. Which is interesting. I wonder why that's... What does that mean now? Can it not pen certain units at really close range? What's the King Tiger's armor at close range? Would this mean the Crusader can't pen a King Tiger now? Or what? I would need to double check. Or only from the rear, maybe? I'll need to double check and go into a match and just make the biggest Axis tanks and see what armor they've got on their sides and rear and stuff, and see how if the Crusader can pen. Alright, the Bishop now. The Bishop will take longer to vet up, and this means it will be that's just a hard nerf to it, and it is. Let's have a look here. So quite a considerable delay now. It'll take longer for it to get Vet 1, and the Vet 1's the biggest one to get for the Bishop because that reduces its fire cooldown rate, so it can fire faster. So that was fairly strong, to be fair, but yeah, still feel like Bishops were kind of the only good thing going for Brits. The Vet 1, and now maybe not so. I don't know. I feel like if they're doing this, they have to nerf the Stuka, right? Because the Stuka is already crazy. Indian Artillery Battle Group Gurkhas. They now have the ability to drop the artillery. Okay. Right, yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, you don't really see that many Gurkhas. That's fine. Commandos, Demolition Charges are now Advanced Demolition Charges. These are invisible unless the enemy has a Minesweeper. Oh, that's cool. They have increased them, though, by 25 to make up for it. And then Canadians, Attacking Spirit. The healing has been reduced from 90 to 70 health, total over 45 seconds. Yeah, I did think it was quite a lot of health, to be fair. So a little bit of a nerf to this. I think that's fine. Burnout, missions cost has been reduced by 10, and it's gone down from 1 command, so there's a buff to it. Due to burnout having to compete with secondary munitions, we are decreasing the command point and munitions cost, allowing it to be used as a powerful outgame tool to clear territory points and decapture positions. This could be better for like maybe the 1v1 fights on cutoffs and stuff maybe now. Point assault did not give the player enough time to decapture territory. As the player was immediately on high value resource points. So duration 45 to 60, buff duration 30 to 60. Okay, and then Crocodile. What's going on with the Crocodile? The Crocodile's flamethrower struggled to control large groups of infantry directly in front of the tank. Despite being an anti-infantry specialist, against this unit, the opponent should be required to spread out the infantry rather than attacking the Crocodile through brute force. We have changed the flamethrower to now deal damage in a circle, greatly increasing the number of targets it can hit. Okay, so the Crocodile's got an AoE buff to its flamethrower. Oh, and it's now an extra 100 manpower, though. So make up for it. Okay. Now on to the DAC. So the 8 Rad. The 8 Rad's 20 manpower, cheaper, and its accuracy has been increased. We're improving the 8 Rad's combat performance when fighting at close range with infantry. We want this unit to be an aggressive light vehicle that is most dangerous once it has closed the distance to the target, while also being able to run down wounded squads. So this is going to make it an even better unit at chasing down retreating squads. Most people just go for the flat feeling because it's just probably the better out of the two. But the 8 Rad will be now the one to go for if you fancy chasing down retreating squads, or if you feel like your opponent hasn't got the ability to lob AT, snares, things like that. Let's say you're up against. Let me just think of an American strategy. Let's say you're up against Americans and they're going like engineers, spam, assault engineers kind of thing. 8 Rad would be great because they can't obviously lob any AT grenades or anything like that, so that would be quite good. Panzer 3, near penetration, reduced from 180 to 140. Panzer 3 was intended to have its near penetration adjusted similarly to the Sherman, making the unit more focused on flanking heavier vehicles. Okay. So maybe not as good against things like the Matilda and the Grant, maybe? That seems like a huge nerf. That is pretty big. I'm kind of curious to see, because you normally would go... I mean, to be fair, like if you're up against Grants and Matildas, I wouldn't be getting Panzer 3s. I'd be getting Marders. Or I'd go up to the Tiger or Panzer 4. But this is pretty, I'd still probably get Panzer 3 if I was up against Crusader spam, because like Crusader spam versus Panzer 3 spam, Panzer 3s will win because they will have all their upgrades and stuff, whereas Crusaders won't. But, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. And then combined arms battle group. So Simvente, the barrage has been buffed by a bit. So maybe, still we don't see anybody making the Simvente, and Relic is trying to do some buffs to it to try and make people get it more often, but we'll see. Right then, Bersaglieri. This is one of my favourite builds. It looks to have been a change here. We've noted the Bersaglieri builds are outscaling other standard infantry builds, which is not the intention considering their early power. We're reducing the speed at which they scale to compensate. So they've increased their veterancy requirements, and that's it. That's fine. Huge change. To be fair, though, I don't know. I feel like with the bursters, their issue was the fact that you could just overwhelm early and have the extra unit. That's why they were so strong. I don't think they scaled very well, to be honest, bursters in general. So the change to the scaling is a bit strange. I mean, they already can't do anything against vehicles. So yeah, they have the run bonus as well. I kind of like their run bonus, and it is out of combat, which is fair, but I don't know. I didn't think this was I mean, they were strong, but I don't think this was the right change to make for bursters. I think it should have been something to do with maybe making them increase in manpower by like 10 or 20. And then when they get the 7th man, they become cheaper to reinforce, so they get the scaling later on back in, so they actually can compete at Vet 3 in late game against Vet 3 rifles with bars and things like that. Because right now they can't. Yeah, bursters don't scale super late, and they're a light bit of gambling early depending on what you're fighting. Exactly, right? So this just seems like that, again, I don't think Relic have been playing their game. This is not the issue with them. In anything, this is going to make it more like you need to win early game because late game you're going to lose because they're not going to be able to compete. Which kind of sucks. Anyway, right, strafing around. Now pins and suppress infantry. The damage has gone up by 10. And the bonus against vehicles has been reduced. And it's been made 10 munitions cheaper. Okay, so this is you either pick the strafing one or you pick the Caro. But the fact that it now pins and suppresses is pretty good, because that could allow you to force a retreat and things like that now. And the damage has gone up by a bit, so that's nice. Right, onto the Italian infantry, the Gustatori. Gustatori have some of the lowest damaging elite submachine guns in the game for a dedicated anti-infantry unit. Their final veterancy level has been adjusted to improve their performance of the SMGs. Okay, cool. So they got buffed. The booby traps have gone down by 10 munitions. The sound the alarm is gone up by 15. Propaganda war has been reduced by 20. And also it's 2 command points cheaper. Nice. Okay, so pretty decent buff to that commander. Armored support, so the Stuka has been reduced by 20 munitions. I guess this is in response to the fact that the Stuka anti-tank loiters, or anti-tank loiters in general, have been nerfed, so it's a bit cheaper now. Vehicle awareness is decreased by 20. Range has gone up by 30. Always detect units. Always detects when units are in its radius. No longer pulses like traditional recon abilities. Okay, so I would say that's overall a buff. The command, Panzer IV, has also received an aura change as well. To 35. Cool. Battlefield espionage. The Firestorm has been reduced by 25 munitions. The Firestorm I thought was already really good, and now it's a huge buff to that, making it 25 munitions cheaper. The Subterfuge Siphon Beacon, manpower from 75 to 50, so that's a buff. Operation Scorpion no longer slows. And munitions cost has been reduced by 25. So again, that's some buffs there as well. And the roadblocks, the Panzer command block, they've gone up by 140 health. Their build time has been reduced, so you can build them fast. S-mines, here we go. S-mines were causing too much damage to enemy squads, especially if they bunched up during their movement. We're reducing the amount of damage caused by S-mines to bring them more in line with their low munitions cost. Damage limit set to 2 entities. Previously could hit any member of squad. Okay, so that's been nerfed, so S-mines will no longer be as deadly for their cost, so that's good. And the butterfly mines were too effective against infantry squads. While we want these weapons to still be powerful to slow infantry assaults, their ability to hit multiple unit models in a wide area made them quite powerful against retreating units. These mines are meant to be geared towards anti-vehicle work with some anti-infantry effectiveness. So the modifier against infantry has gone down very slightly, and the model damage has gone down from 2 to 1. Okay, so I only hit 1 guy rather than 2 people. Okay, so nerf to these mines. And then the elephant, the damage has gone up by 40 on the elephant. Reload speed has been, so it's faster to shoot. And the penetration values are all now 1,000. Big buff to the elephant then. So the elephant will basically never not pen. I would say, apart from maybe, I don't know, what's the armor of the Church of Black Prince? But that's going to make the elephant a bit more enticing for Axis players to maybe go for now, rather than just always go for the Tiger. Despite being a vehicle specialty effort, did not kill enemy vehicles faster than other heavy tanks, meaning you only had a range advantage on a slow platform. We have made changes to make the Elephant the best anti-armored vehicle. It can now 3-shot premium vehicles like an Easy 8 and a Grant, while also being reliable against the toughest heavy tanks. Yeah, it might miss though. Who knows if it would need to hit. Good miss. And then we just got some, that's it really. Bug fixes and campaign and some. All right, so that's really it. Not much really. Actually, there's a little change there I've just noticed. The Elephant did have a very easy ability to vet up. Now it's changed quite considerably. So there was a mistake on that. So guys, that's the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did and want more content, check up over here and over here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, make sure to click the button down here. To catch the next video, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.